There were 4 people involved in terms of victims. There was a sheriff's deputy, Joseph Anderson, on the 16th, and then we had 2 U.S. Marshals on the 17th, which was a Manuel Soto and Juan Lara, and then also a sheriff's deputy yesterday as well, Sean O'Banion.
And why attempted capital murder rather than aggravated assault of a peace officer?
Let me start with saying that we are very grateful right now that we are not planning 4 funerals for law enforcement. We're going to start by saying that. All right? Now, to answer your question as to why the charging decisions. Attempting capital murder obviously means that nobody was murdered. But the intent was there to commit a murder, an intentional killing and a knowing killing of a peace officer while they were acting in their line of duty. That is the most appropriate charge at this time, and that is the reason why we have chosen 4 charges of attempted capital murder.
What are the sentencing options there?
The punishment range for that charge is 5 to 99 or life. If an individual has criminal history, the punishment range can be enhanced and up to a floor of 25 up to 99 years or life.
Deputy said that his brother was in the vehicle. He was interviewed, called the DA's office. You all declined to press charges against him. Why is that?
So under the law in Texas, a person is a party or criminally responsible when they commit an act in the furtherance of a crime. However, if a person is merely present during a crime and does not provide assistance or specific help, aid, or encouragement, then they are not considered a party to the crime. So by being merely in the car, but not actively participating in the crime, then he is not a party under the law in Texas.
Will anybody else be charged? The people that were in the house, the tenants?
Investigation is ongoing, so I can't tell you what the future will tell us. But we are still considering evidence from lots of different sources, and we will do a continued investigation into looking at everything.
Is the defendant going to PC court this afternoon or going straight to court Monday morning?
Early next week, we anticipate him being in court.
Okay. So there's no bond, nothing's been done at this point?
We're in the process of everything at this point. We will have more information coming.
Will you be asking for no bond? In this
We
case,
will.
we know there are bond issues.
Absolutely.
In terms of the damage to the home, will that be paid for, or how does that work?
That's not a question that I'm going to be able to answer for you in this press conference.
Can you go back to that bond issue? Give it to me in a sense, like about what you guys plan on doing about the bond stuff.
Yes. So the defendant is a true habitual. So we will be filing no bond motions in each of his cases and seeking to deny his bail
Until we can bring him to trial.
Yes.
And we will start that process next week when we see Mr. Green in court.
Yes.
Do you know if the feds plan on submitting their own charges since there are some U.S. Marshals involved?
That would be an excellent question for the AUSA's office.
Yes.
What was the DA's office's last recommendation for his bail on his last time in court, I suppose?
I'm not privy to that information right now for the purposes of this hearing or this meeting.
Going back to the brother, under Texas law, he was there, witnessed the crime, blue alert was put out. What is your responsibility, or what is the law? Are you supposed to call? Like, what are your actions are you required to do before you can face charges? Because if he witnessed it but didn't call police and he stayed in the vehicle, aren't you supposed to maybe alert authorities? Can't you get in trouble for just, if you witness it but don't do anything to turn in the brother, can't you still face a charge?
So I'm going to answer part of your question, and the other of that I'm not. But you can in Texas be charged for something called harboring a fugitive, okay? So if you are knowingly aiding and assisting a fugitive in their attempts to evade law enforcement, then that could be a charge. But as I discussed before, in order to be a true party to a crime, to the actual offense, you have to do something that provides actual affirmative help, aid, or encouragement to the crime.
So we shouldn't expect to see the defendant till court Monday, is that right? He'll be in court Monday morning?
We would expect to see him sometime early next week. I cannot give you the exact day right now. We'll know more as the weekend progresses. There's paperwork that has to be filed. We're in the process of doing that right now as we speak. And so I would expect, based on doing this for 18 years, that we would see him either Monday or Tuesday in court. But it's possible it could be as late as Wednesday. It just depends on paperwork and lots of other factors going on.
Is he skipping PC court? Is that a thing that you can do?
It's not no, that's not expected.
Okay.
But there are times when, for various reasons, logistic reasons, an individual may not go to magistrate court, usually because of not any legal technicality, but there are times when a individual might see their first judge in district court before they had an opportunity to be seen in front of magistrate court. I can't answer the question as to whether he's going to go in front of a magistrate first or whether he would go directly to the district court judge.
When can we expect to see the charges filed?
Soon, hopefully.
Yeah, they're in process.
This evening, if we can, hopefully this evening.
Yes.
We've accepted charges at this point.
What can you share, if you can, and we are grateful that we're not planning funerals right now. What can you share about this guy? What do you know about him? Anything at all? History?
I can tell you that we had warrants out for his arrest, and that certainly gave him a motive to not want to be identified and not get arrested, and that because of those warrants, that this was not the first time that he's been in our legal process, and that we are ready to face him come next week in court.
Can you share if there was any relationship between the defendant and the people living at the home?
That's, again, information that I'm not going to go into at this point because of the nature of it's still an investigation. There are still witnesses to be spoken to and things of that nature. Maybe next week, not now.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I get the spelling of the names of your deputies and identified?
You need to spell it